Good morning, everybody. Ashrei Chelkom v'Godel Schusam from everybody who's doing a halacha le'yuna. Like the Rebbe said when he came out with the Takona, the Rebbe said he should learn halacha le'yuna, so it's wonderful. Let's discuss today one of the halachas. The halacha, Peirik Shishi Matnot Aniyim halacha Hey. The Rambam says like this: Shnas Hashmita Kulo Hefker. The Rambam in the previous halacha says the different chayvos of Meiser, that the first year you have Meiser Rishon and Meiser Sheni, and the third year and the sixth year you have Meiser Oni. Comes the seventh year, says the Rambam, Kulo Hefker. The aim by loy truma v'loy meiser is klal. There's nothing because it's hefker. Loy rishon, loy sheni, v'loy meiser oni. However, the Rambam finishes in Chutzul Oretz, where there is no Shemittah. So in Amoin and Mitzrayim and in Moav you give meiser oni, not meiser sheni. So the poor people of Israel will have what to eat on Shemittah. But and it's Shinar, you give Meiser Sheni because you keep on going like the regular rotation. So there is a fascinating machlekes between the Beis Yosef in the Shilas of Tshuvas Svarim and the Mabit and the Maharit. The Maharit was a son of the Mabit. They have an interesting machlekes. What does it mean that Shemitah things are hefker? Does it mean that it's afkato de malka, the Eibishter made it hefker? Or is there a chiyuv for the person to be mafkid? And b'derech memele, if it's hefker, you have no obligation to give any meisters like any regular hefker. Or do we say it doesn't belong to the person? Afkata de malka means that Eibishter makes it hefker. So even if someone planted food on Shvis and he made a strong fence around his food and a bunch of good dogs and nobody could get close, so according to the Beis Yosef, he also writes about it in great length in his Shilas Tshuvas Av Kasroichel. He writes that it's chayiv b'meiseres, because he wasn't mafkid it. Or if you give it to a goy, and the goy makes food on Shemitah, and the yid makes gemar melocha, so since it didn't grow as hefker, there's a chiyuv of trumos or meiseros. Interesting machlekes, what does it mean, afkata de malka? This machlekes is brought down in the Shulchan Aruch. In the Shulchan Aruch, jede day is Shin Lamed Aleph. He brings down the Beis Yosef, brings down the Lashon Rambam, Shnas Hashmita Kula Hefker. So from the Lashon Rambam, Shnas Hashmita Kula Hefker, it seems like the tzad and the chekira that it's afkata de malka. Be'etzem Shemitah, there's no chiyuv of trumas and meiseres because the Eibishter makes it hefker. You look in the Radvaz on the Rambam. The Radvaz and the Rambam says tak afkata de malke. There's no chiyuv. However, the Ramo in the Hago and Shulchan Aruch says v'yei sheimrim that if a guy sold Peiris Shvis to a Yid, and the Yid made Gemar Melacha, you're chayiv in Truma and Meiser, and you have to give Meiser only like Amoin and Moav that are close to Israel, not like Shinar, that's far from Israel. So Allah Mishim Sinai, v'chein kos and Beis Yosef v'chein kos v'kafter v'ferach. So for the Loshna Rambam is mashma that it's be'etzem hefker. There's a pasuk in the Torah by Shemittah and Behar. It says, "Kisavoyu el oretz v'shof sahoretz Shabbos l'Hashem." So I remember hearing from the Rebbe by a Fabringen, why does the Torah start with Shabbos? Shemittah it should start with the 6 years working, then v'shof sahoretz Shabbos l'Hashem. So I heard from the Rebbe, as a Yida Wissen, a Jew has to know that his main purpose is the mitzvah, v'shof sahoretz Shabbos l'Hashem. Then there's a side thing, sheishonim tizmer kamecho v'saftas tvasa. But the main thing is the mitzvahs. Other people, I think it's the Sameach, wants to learn from here that the Eibush is telling the Yidden, I'm giving you Israel, but the 7th year, I didn't give it to you, it's not yours. It's Afkata de Malka. It's Afkata de Malka, then no matter what happens, it's potter from Trumas and Meises. By the way, this Machlokes is very negeya in Eretz Yisrael today for those people that rely on the Heter Mechira. Is there a chiyuv of Trumas and Meises today? Because the guy wasn't mafkir it. Or do you say Afkata de Malka? So from the Loshen Rambam, it's mashma, he doesn't, that's how a lot of people want to learn. Shnas HaShmita Kula Hefker. From the Loshen Rambam, Kula Hefker, mashma, that it's not dependent on the person. Because according to the Beis Yosef, it's not Kula Hefker. By a goy, you're chayiv Trumas and Meises, and by a Yid that makes his food with fences and blocks his food, by a guy, he's sure that there's Trumas and Meises. By a Yid, the Beis Yosef in Avakas Rechel is stark mistapik. If there is a chiyuv Trumas and Meises. But for the Loshen Rambam, Kula Hefker is mashma, that there's bichlal no chiyuv. So it's mashma like the Shita, it's also on the Radvaz, on the Rambam. He says it's Afkata de Malka, Kula Hefker. There's no ownership. It's mashma like the Tzad of the Mabit and the son the Maharit. We also find a Sifri. The Sifri says, in Parshas Re'eh, the Sifri says like this: Yochel av shona shvis techayeves b'maiser. That Shemitah you have to give maiser. Talmud they mishnas maiser. Shona shechayeves b'maiser. Yotzo shvi she'eino chayeves b'maiser. From that loshon is mashma that not if you're mafkir it. From the Losha Sifri is mashma she'eino chayeves b'maiser. That it's Afkata de Malka, there's no chiyuv maiser, not if you're mafkir it. This is a classical machlekes. The Rogachover here, and in many other places, says that behemes, this machlekes of the Beis Yosef and the Mabit, is an old machlekes between Rashi and Tosfos in Rosh Hashanah after Zvovim and Aleph. So Rashi is mashma, you have to actually be mafkirit. The ptur is from Hefker. The Rebbe Lekutei Sichos has a fascinating biur on this Rambam. The Rebbe says that you cannot bring a raya from the Rambam. Could be the Rambam holds, like the Beis Yosef. Nevertheless, he writes Kula Hefker. Because there's a chiyuv to be mafkir. That's why it's potter for myself. Even if you didn't mafkir b'poil. The fact that there's a chiyuv to be mafkir makes it potter. But it's not afkata de malka. And he brings a raya from someone that they forced him to be Mechal Shabbos. Goyim forced him to be Mechal Shabbos. Does he have to put on tefillin? Because since he desecrated the Shabbos, so he has no ois. There's a halacha that if someone doesn't have a bris milah, he needs tefillin on Shabbos, because you need two signs that you're Jewish: bris and Shabbos. If you don't have a bris, you need to put on tefillin on Shabbos. So this guy, they forced him to break the Shabbos. Is he chayiv in tefillin? Because his ois is not there. Another example he brings, if someone's over, mechalas hamayot, he does malacha chel hamayot. So he was mechal kedushas chel hamayot. Does he have to put on tefillin chel hamayot? And the Rebbe is mitzayin the shaylas achuvas imre yoshe. So Al Derech Zeh, the Rebbe wants to say by Shemittah, and even though the person has to be mafkirit, it's not afkata de malka, nevertheless you could say everything is potter. So even if the Rambam writes Nasa Shmita Kula Hefker, it doesn't mean that it's Hefker automatically. It means Nasa Shmita Kula has an obligation to be mafkir. But according to the way the Rebbe learns, in the case of the Beis Yosef, where not the case of the Yid wasn't mafkir, he has a chiyuv to be mafkir. In the case of the Beis Yosef, where a goy did it and he has no chiyuv to be mafkir, so if you learn that the Rambam learns like the Tzad, that you have to be mafkir it, then the Rambam would be maskim that he's chayiv b'trumas u'maisos like the Beis Yosef, because he has no chiyuv to be mafkir it. If the word is chiyuv, I'm going to have the chiyuv. And the Rebbe Taka learns that's why the Beis Yosef is more sure that a goy is chayiv b'maiser, not a yid. There he is mistapik in the shaylas v'tshuvos. Anyways, this is just a little word. The Rambam's or the Eibishter is helpful. The halachas of Matnot Aniyim shows us the money is not ours; it's given from God, and we should help other people. Same as the mitzvah of Shemittah to show us that it kili kol haaretz, it's not ours, and everything that we get is a gift from Hashem, and we have to be very thankful and do with it what Hashem wants us to do with it. So it's the Eibishter helpful through learning the Rambam and being Mikayim the Rebbe's Hiroah, which helps us be connected to our Rebbe, gives us strength to be connected to the Rebbe, to have the proper outlook on the world. God bless you all with a wonderful day.